South African festive season is the busiest of all time, especially when it comes to travelling. South Africans don't hold back on spending their hard-earned money. This year, however, travelling will be different, with the President announcing the extension of the national state of disaster to the 15th of December, as tourists prepare to make their way to various South African attractions. Now, what measures should be put in place to ensure all safety is observed when on holiday? We speak to the chairperson of the National Accommodation Association of South Africa, Rosemarie van Staden, to find out from an accommodation point of view how the association will be ensuring all safety measures will be put in place. Rosemarie, thank you so much for joining us and for your time. Before we get to the measures that you've put in place during this festive season, how has it been for the industry during this time?
Good afternoon. It was a terrible, terrible time, and it's still terrible times for us in the industry because business are very slow, and you know, with the COVID still recurring, it's quite slow.
Now, Rosemarie, not only are you the chairperson of the Accommodation Association, but you also own a guest house. How has it been personally for you?
Yes, I own a guest house here in Pretoria, and it's devastating because there is no business, there is no corporate travel, there is no governmental travel. So, and you know, we've got our staff members that we need to take care of, and you need to keep your business open in case somebody needs some accommodation. So there's expenses involved.
But on the good front, Rosemarie, I'm hearing that a lot of accommodation places in South Africa are fully booked ahead of December. What is the industry expecting during this holiday time? I mean, a lot of people have said that they will be staying put because of, you know, those numbers that keep on increasing from a COVID-19 perspective. But on the other end, some provinces are fully booked.
Yes, I do believe that some provinces are fully booked, but I would really like to see the real statistics on paper. I doubt whether everybody will be fully booked because there is a lot of people that don't have money for traveling at the moment. And for the people who are fully booked, I'm very thankful that they are fully booked. But to my knowledge, most of my places are not, most of the members that belongs to the National Accommodation Association are not fully booked. Now, hardly have bookings.
Now, in a recent study, it's an international study, and I presume it was done in Europe because, you know, that continent is having resurgence in terms of COVID-19. And they're saying that without some sort of intervention from government, you know, hotels and other accommodation places will close down. Do you think that in South Africa that is the case, and that more is needed from a government perspective?
Absolutely. We need more governmental help to keep the places open. This is investments that people make. This is people's pension funds that is invested into small establishments. So this is a terrible, sad day that there is people that need to close down, that guest houses are going on auction, and the government definitely can help establishments to stay open.
Now, we've seen the minister doing quite a number of door-to-door visits to various establishments, most of whom are probably your flagship, you know, tourist attractions. Do you think that there is that kind of might from government in terms of smaller accommodation places like yourselves, like B&Bs, for instance, or is the effort more on the bigger establishments? I mean, granted, tourism is one of those industries that really needs to rapidly increase in terms of its services so that that industry starts receiving, you know, the money that it needs, so desperately needs for its employees and also just to keep the business going.
Yeah. Well, we are aware that the minister are on her travelling trips at the moment. We don't have feedback as yet. So at this stage, I can't comment very much on on what is being reached or where we are going at the moment. But I assume that the Minister will meet with smaller accommodation places, and I know that she's got our biggest interest at heart.
Now, with the festive season fast approaching and most of these establishments starting to receive, just some of these reservations, what is the industry, especially your association, doing in terms of planning, from a safety perspective, just on this period alone, December and January in particular?
Yeah, well, we follow the Tourism Business Council of South Africa and SA Tourism's business protocols and safety protocols. All the guest houses did receive all the information. We regularly send out newsletters that people are aware of what they need to do, and staff training that people can be up and running and be careful of the COVID. They also know about the sanitizing procedures and no mask, no entry. We also on a regular basis keep our members updated with crime statistics and travel arrangements and travel problems that's on the roads at the moment, that we can warn our guests that's also on their way to our establishments to take care. We also advise our guests to make sure that they, if they do regular stops, that they see to sanitizing and that they have more than one mask available, and also our staff, that we have more than one mask available for the day to wear, because it just gets, you're breathing in and out the whole time in the mask.
All right, Rosemarie, thank you so much for your time. That's where we have to leave it for this afternoon. Rosemarie van Staden is the National Accommodation Association.